Welcome back to the Gamery. We're here for more unsolved case files. So after reading every single document, we finally figured out Objective 1, and now we're on Objective 2. Who is Jane Doe? So we also opened up the contents of bonus envelope A, and I guess we'll go through that now.
Crime scene report by the police dive team. We received a tip from an independent investigator concerning the murder of an unidentified Jane Doe found in 2001 on the island of Del Fuego and believed it warranted further investigation. The investigator found washed-up remnants of a sunken ship on the shore of Del Fuego Island matching a sailboat known to be docked at the Apollonia Marina, 12 miles north, less than 24 hours earlier. The evidence convinced us that Jane Doe had taken that sailboat from the Apollonia Marina to Del Fuego Island and the boat capsized offshore. In response to the new information, we conducted a complete forensic dive to look for the wreck and any possible clues in the unsolved cold case. Our dive team, consisting of Lieutenant Gary LaGrange and Stu Hansen, was dispatched to the location, arriving at approximately 2:15 p.m. After spending about an hour exploring the area near Del Fuego Island, we discovered a sunken boat about 200 yards off the shore of the island. The boat appeared to match the description of the boat we were looking for. We were unable to collect any valuable information or evidence from the actual boat, but Officer Hansen found a sealed plastic bag inside the boat's watertight storage compartment. The contents of the bag were brought back to headquarters for analysis and are detailed within this report. The bag included a map to the island with instructions written for Jane Doe how to get to the island on the night of the murder. The maps with instructions for Jane Doe confirms the items we found belonged to Jane Doe, who was murdered on Del Fuego Island back in April of 2001. Due to the age of the items and their location over the past few decades, we were unable to retrieve any worthwhile forensic evidence such as saliva, fingerprints, or other DNA sources. We were still unable to determine the identity of Jane Doe, but believe additional investigation is warranted and a team of skilled detectives may be able to ascertain the identity of Jane Doe and perhaps even her killer with additional evidence we found. Okay, next is the inventory list of evidence obtained by the police dive team. So number 1, chunky bars and wrappers. 1 unopened, 1 opened and empty, 1 partially consumed, mixed nut and raisin version. Okay, so she doesn't have a nut allergy. Number 2, a money clip with cash, brass anchor billfold with 3 ones and a 20. Number 3, pocket knife, slice of heaven brand, used condition. Number 4, flashlight, brand name worn off, AA battery inside, very corroded. Number 5, necklace, tan rope with 2 medallions. 1 medallion has a mysterious symbol inscribed on it, unable to make out the writing on the smaller one. Number 6, dental floss, floss like a boss, inscription, somewhat used. Number 7, Paula May passion pink lip gloss, slightly used. Number 8, compass, old brass, circa 1950. Number 9, contact lens case, no name brand, prescription contacts for 20/40, 20/50 vision. So she doesn't have 20/20 vision.
Or wears contacts.
Number 10, bracelet jewelry with 5 aquamarine gemstones. Inscription on back of the charm reads, happy birthday. Aquamarine, is that a birthday?
What month is that?
Number 11, beef jerky, super slim beef jerky stick, spicy flavor. Partially eaten but torn, no bite marks. 20.4 grams. Okay.
So I think someone was vegan, right?
Yeah.
I think Maria's vegan, so not Maria.
Number 12, purple asthma inhaler by Easy Breathe, used. Well,
They all had asthma.
Number 13, Nintendo Game Boy, color dark purple with Miss Pac-Man game cartridge inside. Number 14, not photographed, map to Del Fuego Island with instructions for Jane Doe to get to the island, included with a case file.
Okay, let's go to that.
So it says, there will be a boat with keys in it at the marina, 2 slips down from the one they take to the island, Captain Hooked. Leave between 9:30 to 10 p.m. on April 22nd. Approach from due south to avoid dangerous rocks.
The person knows how to use a boat?
Whoever drew this map knows exactly how to navigate around the seas.
And for someone who they think also knows how to navigate. And then we have some photos.
So the first one is, I guess, a photo of under the sea.
Yeah, this is the boat. Are we looking for something? It's been a while. I think that's what it is, right?
I was going to say there's a lot of... It doesn't look like a clean boat that just went under. Maybe this person traveled to the island way earlier than 2001?
Yeah, and then how did Scout not find her if it's been that long?
I don't know. Okay, anyway.
Anyways, let's go to the next image. Property of Evidence Department. So these are just pictures of all the items that were described. The clip has an anchor sign on it, Paula May. A fan of hers.
And then the pocket knife too. I mean, I don't know if everyone carries a pocket knife. We should probably take note of this symbol on the necklace. And then also the aquamarine gemstone is like a baby blue.
All right, so let's go to our missing persons.
Can we search aquamarine?
March. So it's March.
That means possibly this person was born in March.
So to review some of the notes, we just organized a little bit here. Again, they all have asthma, so that doesn't rule anyone out. Jasmine's hobby is sailing, but she had a broken nose. She wears glasses and...
Allergic to nuts.
Okay.
So we can rule Jasmine out. I'm looking for the statement just to confirm that Maria was a vegan.
Maria doesn't seem like the type. She's one of those vegans, and quite frankly, I've never trusted King. So that would rule her out because of the beef jerky.
What I noticed is the Jane Does born in March, right? There's only two, actually. It's Louisa and Emma.
Narrowing down to those two, basically.
Yeah, but let's continue with the next person. Next is Louisa.
She lost her pinky toe, so maybe that rules her out.
I don't know if I can 100% rule her out yet.
So for Emma, yeah, she wears contacts. You said Louisa wears contacts? Okay, I missed that.
So Emma's still a possibility, right? And then last is Kim Rose's son. So she also wears glasses or contacts. So she's the one that can't swim.
Can you still sail?
Yeah, but she wasn't born in March.
Oh, we can rule her out because of her birthday, right?
Okay, yeah, let's just rule her out.
Back again, down to 2. The days that they were missing. So Louisa is missing 1998. Emma Lynn is like about a month before this incident.
Let's see what our objective question is.
You mean the website?
Mm-hmm.
So which of these 5 items needed to identify Jane Doe? Which of these 5 items? Oh, so they split them into 2. Oh, so then can we just say the necklace and... Oh,
it's
wait.
Not a necklace,
bracelet.
It's a bracelet.
The bracelet and the candy's not even here. The necklace... What was that again?
Maybe there's something inscribed in here.
So unable to make it out.
Any way we can search what the symbol means?
Yeah, this one, right? Oh, I mean, there's more here.
Oh,
the Zodiac. So it's also February to March. So I think
what, though?
20th. Wait, how do you know her birthday? Oh, it's March 11th, right? So they're about to tell her on her birthday tomorrow. And this was reported on the 11th.
So this one, date of birth is March 29th, so it can't be her. It's March 20th for Pisces, right?
Yep, that's it. So from the first one, it would be the necklace, and the second one's the bracelet.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Don't overthink it.
Confident.
Oh.
Yeah, you might be onto something.
Oh, yes, yes.
That?
Okay, so now which one? We say Emma Lynn.
Yes.
Yeah! Okay, you solved it, and I think, because Aquamarine and Pisces. Emma Lynn Simpson is the only missing girl with a birthday between March 1st and March 20th.
I think if we knew our zodiac symbols, we would have solved it a lot faster.
Hey, man. All right, objective number 3, convict the killer. When you find the evidence directly connecting one of the 5 suspects to Jane Doe, visit this page and prove it. And also it says, now open the envelope for a correspondence from Emma Lynn's heartbroken mother.
Hello there. For so many years, I've dreamed my daughter would walk through our front door. I'd throw my arms around her and never let go. And now I've been forced to accept it's a fantasy that will never come true. I have to let my sunshine go. That's what I called her, my sunshine. She was the light of my life, a light that has now gone eternally dark due to the findings in your investigation. It's almost too much to bear. My Emma Lynn loved photography. She was so kind, she'd do free photo shoots for all of the town folk who couldn't afford to bring their kids to a portrait studio. She had dreams of becoming a professional photographer, but the more people told her she looked like Paula May, the more she thought she belonged on the other side of the lens. Emma Lynn became obsessed with the idea of modeling. She put just as much passion into that as she did her photography. She got some local work, but was desperate to go to New York or Los Angeles to pursue it, while her dad and I were adamant that she stay away from places like that. There are so many reminders of Emma Lynn around town. So many years have gone by, but I still need to pull over sometimes after passing the Dairy Queen she loved. March is especially difficult, as each year marks another without her. I turn on the TV to distract myself, and there's Paula May hosting Saturday Night Live again. She's aged so gracefully. It's hard not to imagine that's what my Emma Lynn would look like if she were around today. I see Emma Lynn everywhere. My daughter had a very trusting nature, and that made her naive to the ways of the world. I blame myself because I sheltered her so much. I just didn't want anything to happen to my baby, but it completely backfired. It rips my heart out, especially now that I know she has gone forever. Knowing that Emma Lynn is no longer missing has brought a certain sense of relief, but it's opened a whole new range of emotions that are even harder to cope with. Which of those people on the island did this to my Emma Lynn? I can't bear not knowing. We hired a private investigator when she went missing, but things got hard at the farm without Emma Lynn's help. I've enclosed a final letter he sent us after we ran out of money. Apparently, she started working for some shady character named Ari Cruz, but we were never able to figure out who that was. I know in my heart that if we could just find the connection between Ari Cruz and one of the people on the island, it would lead us to find the real killer. I beg you, please don't give up trying to find out what happened to our baby. Yours truly, Darla Jean Simpson.
Ari
Cruz.
Okay, so there's another letter in there. April 28, 2001. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Simpson, I'm very sorry we need to put the investigation on hold due to financial concerns because I am so close to finding Emmeline. Hopefully when things turn around at the Cranberry Farm, I can get back to work and bring her home. Here are the results of my investigation so far. As you stated, Emmeline had dreams of becoming a model and became obsessed with Paula May, as she had been told so many times she looked like her. She begged you to let her pursue a career in modeling in LA or New York, but you refused. On the morning of her birthday, you found her bed hadn't been slept in and her suitcase was gone. You called the police, but of course there were no help, so you did the smart thing and called me. Another classic case of a naive Midwestern girl running away from the farm to pursue fame and fortune. I wish I had a nickel for every time I saw this one. After making well over 100 phone calls, I was eventually able to track Emmeline's whereabouts to LA. Apparently she had been working as a cocktail waitress at a nightclub called Club Pyro. I assume she was using a fake ID since she's underage. I called Club Pyro and asked for Paula May with a tooth gap. The manager knew her and was helpful at first. She explained that they hadn't seen her in about a week, and then her voice trailed off. I asked where she was, and the manager sounded very nervous. She was hesitant to say anything, but I eventually got her to reveal that Emmeline had just started working for a shady character by the name of Ari Cruz. I called a friend of mine who retired in Inglewood, and he told me Ari Cruz has a hand in several pies, all rumored to be highly unsavory pies, but is very hard to track down. It's rumored that Ari Cruz has ties to a few questionable modeling agencies and a storage facility near the airport. It's also highly likely Cruz is involved in drug trafficking and perhaps even an illegal gambling ring. I couldn't find any criminal records and all my public records searches came up empty. So far, tracking down Ari Cruz is like trying to find a ghost, but I'm sure we'll find Emmeline if I can. I'm sorry, but I can only do so much over the phone. If you can find the funds to get me out to LA to track down this Ari Cruz character, I'll bring Emmeline home where she belongs. I'm so close. All my best, Donald J. Smithers. Are we just assuming Ari Cruz is the security guard? Something else too is that she loved photography. I don't know if that was in the missing persons profile.
Yes, it was.
I think most of the information that would be helpful is in the investigator's document. So when they mentioned the club, it made me think of Jack Danner, who also picked up waitresses, or picked up a waitress there. So we summarized some of our notes. Christopher King was accused by Maria for stealing drugs, but instead they found the Percocets in her bag. And Percocets are for back pain, which he got at the dock when they were taking the photo. He also has this secret cave, which he lied about his whereabouts before the fire. He said it was in the main house. Ari knows about the secret cave too. So what's this secret cave? He called this weird group session. He wrote the poem indicating some love affair or a heartbreak. And he was known to bring girlfriends over before the new CEO. So maybe they're also focusing on that she looks like Paula May. So what if Scout wasn't alarmed because Emmeline looks like Paula May? So she could have been there for a month and the dog didn't care. When I think about that, dogs can tell from the scent though. I don't know.
I know.
Maybe you do have to think simple like that.
But she was snuck in by who though? Are we assuming that it's Christopher King? No, right? It's by Ari. So Ari must have been the one that gave her the map, how to get there.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, because the only one who would know how to get to the island back and forth would be Ari.
The point that you made that she looks like Paula May, so then now we're asking the question, who would want to kill Paula May?
So you think that she was killed accidentally? So what's the motive? Why would she have enemies?
Because I think if you figure out the motive, we can figure out maybe who the murderer is.
So again, the first suspicious thing we notice is that Ari waited to call the fire department. He says it was safe because the rain put it out and everyone was accounted for, but why would you wait 4 hours to call the fire department? Leave between 9:30 and 10.
So when she got there, pretty much that's when it happened.
And then she was found under the house. According to the autopsy, it wasn't the fire that killed her. It was the injury to the sternum.
So we're looking for someone that has that strength.
Like, is it a punch? Like somebody punched her?
I mean, you can stomp on them, like use your feet.
Because like they mention Ari knows martial arts. Another thing too is that Ari says Ava might know martial arts just because of the way she handled herself.
Does Ava B. Lawrence have any grudge against Paula May?
I know she doesn't like her. Other things we noticed too before, I don't know if this is related, about Paula May's insomnia. And then she claimed to be asleep when the fire broke out because she was exhausted from being out all day, even though she also has agoraphobia. Even Paula May said that she spends most of her time in her cabin. So why would she be out all day?
Also, can we go over the arson investigation report?
That the body was in the crawl space underneath the structure. It wouldn't just appear there out of nowhere. Someone had to put it there, right?
Crawl space, it should be someone that's not that big.
So Paula May It seems like she only gets angry when someone tries to take a photo of her. And she was a photographer, but she was only on the island for like half an hour maybe, and then it was nighttime. But she was also the one who busted the door.
Yeah, that just means she's strong.
Like strong enough to...
I don't know. I can't think of a motive. Can you think of one?
She looked like her, and she was like jealous because maybe she was skinnier. So I'm not sure about motive, but one thing that I caught while reviewing the stuff was that Steven Tenenbaum, the producer, says that she can memorize lines almost instantly, but her alibi was that she was rehearsing her lines in the cabin. So would she really need to rehearse the lines?
So in this one, she does say, I flinch at the thought of breaking a nail, but then the detective noticed that she has short, jagged nails. But what would her motive be? Her weakness are drugs, so what does that have to do with Emma Lynn? Okay, what is the motive for Jack Danner? Maybe she was at the bar or the club that he was at?
Like he met her once at the bar? So to review our notes, he was caught trying to smuggle booze, and then he paid the waitress $500 to get the booze for him. And then, of course, in March, he was arrested for the DWI. He was driving a waitress home, and her memory was fuzzy, like she might have been drugged or something. But that's still no connection. I mean, it's similar, like a waitress from the club.
Okay, Rob Knox.
He just doesn't want anyone to know that he's there. So maybe the fact that she saw him, but his alibi was he was in his cabin drawing up his plans. I mean, it looked like he took some time making it, but he could have made it any time and just dated it.
And the fact that he's into, like, security. He says that there's, oh, too bad there's no hidden security cameras around here. So he's aware of the lack of security.
That's true. Let's go back to the new evidence. I feel like we're missing something here in the investigation report. Let's start with Ari Cruz. Are we just safely assuming it's Ari? Why is it in quotes? It's like too obvious to be Ari, right? And why does Cruz sound so familiar?
3 hours later.
Right here. Rosa Cruz. R? Do we know her full name?
No.
Oh, right here. R.E. Cruz. So that would imply that it's Ava. But what was her motive?
She was supposed to be, like, going undercover, right? Maybe she thought that there was someone that would possibly blow her cover, or she was taking drugs and Emma found out or something.
What did we write for her? Her alibi was shaky, but I mean, mostly everyone's was. She was the first to see the fire.
The detective notices her short, jagged nails, right? Did someone come out here to pay you a visit, drop off a little nose candy perhaps? So maybe, you know, maybe she kind of fell back into doing drugs.
Rosa, who is in charge of the drug trafficking, who also uses intermediaries like Emma Lynn. She manages all illicit actions through intermediaries. So that's probably where Emma Lynn got her job, working as an intermediary. And maybe she was going to the island to deliver drugs. But why kill her? Oh, because she can't get caught using drugs because it would break her deal. So then Emma Lynn was working for Rosa Cruz as an intermediary, delivering drugs to Ava, but she couldn't let anyone know that she was taking drugs. So the other detective probably only heard R.E. Cruz and assumed the spelling was like R.E. Cruz, A-R-I.
Yes.
Okay, but I think that's a pretty clear connection, enough for us to go to the site.
Okay.
All right, who was Emma Lynn going to see? Emma Lynn was connected to one of the 5 suspects. What 2 documents connects Emma Lynn to a suspect? So the first one.
Non-prosecution immunity agreement.
Okay, immunity agreement. Next.
It's the Smithers.
Private investigator.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah! He solved the case. R.E. Cruz is Ava Lawrence's drug dealer, R.E. Cruz. You may now open the envelope marked bonus envelope C to read the murderer's confession.
Congratulations, Detective. You solved the case.
Okay, voluntary statement. Ava Barbara Lawrence. I, the undersigned, make the following statement, voluntary, without threat, duress, or promise of reward. On the night of April 22nd, 2001, I was staying at the Del Fuego Rehab Center, and in the midst of a wild raging storm, both weather-wise and internal demon-wise, I took the life of a young girl. That one horrific night has haunted me every night of my life since. But you have to know, I never, ever intended to kill her. You see, I was a cocaine addict, and my resulting behavior landed me in rehab. To be perfectly honest, I had zero intentions of getting over my addiction. My only goal was to give another award-winning performance. This time as someone who overcame her addiction so I could happily go back to snorting away my problems. That being said, there was no way I could spend 2 weeks on the island without any stimulants, so I paid my dealer, Ari Cruz, to send one of her girls out in a boat to deliver my fix on the first night. When the girl finally showed up, she was in hysterics about her boat sinking and thought she nearly died swimming 100 feet to the island. I was already feeling jumpy and anxious from the effects of withdrawal, so I really didn't care what she'd gone through. I just wanted my fix and told her so. That's when she confessed she'd lost the package. I flew into a rage, shaking her violently and calling her every name in the book. That poor girl was so scared, but I didn't care. She tried to run, but I caught her. She tried to fight me off at that point, but as soon as she started screaming, I kicked her square in the chest and she went down instantly. It made a horrible noise. What had I done? She wasn't moving or breathing. Panic set in. I was about to yell for help, but realized I'd probably go to jail for the rest of my life over a little mistake, and that would be a complete waste. I had to get rid of the body, so I dragged her down into the water, but the waves just kept washing her back up on shore. I couldn't risk it. Then I thought of the lighter and the gas can the counselor had left out, and remembered he wasn't in his cabin. He begged me to go with him to a cave on the other side of the island, but I declined. The guy was smarmy, but he told me he'd be there for a few hours if I changed my mind. So knowing he'd be away from his cabin, it became clear what I needed to do. I dragged this poor girl's lifeless body over to his cabin and shoved her underneath. I'll never forget how sick I felt dousing her body with gasoline. I haven't pumped my own gas since. I poured gasoline on everything else I could reach under that cabin. Then I crawled out of there, lit the lighter, and tossed it under. After sprinting back to my cabin, I started having second thoughts about whether the counselor might actually be in the cabin, and I didn't want another murder on my conscience. So after I was sufficiently convinced that the body underneath was burned beyond recognition, I went outside and started screaming just in case. I knew after that I had to change my life. My personal choice to become a coke addict led to the death of an innocent girl. Since then, I've dedicated my life to helping others overcome their addictions so they can stop damaging themselves as well as those around them. I knew it would never bring that poor girl back, but thought that in a way I could bring her at least some justice by saving other lives. I deserve whatever punishment I have coming, and I'm actually glad my story has finally come to light, as maybe it will be a wake-up call for other drug addicts to realize just how far into the darkness their addictions can take them. Wow. That was a lot of reading for very little that we needed to solve it. But we solved it. Okay, let's play.
Shocking news today, as world-famous actress Ava B. Lawrence has confessed to murdering a 17-year-old girl decades ago. A recent team of investigators proved she was Emma Lynn Simpson. They also uncovered that Emma Lynn worked for Ava B. Lawrence's drug dealer. Once police learned of the connection between the two, Ava B. Lawrence was brought in for questioning. According to Ava's statement, Emma Lynn was hired to take a boat to the island and deliver her drugs. But the boat sunk and she swam to shore. When Lawrence found out the drugs were lost, she accidentally killed her. We'll have a heartbreaking interview with the victim's mother, Darla Jean Simpson, later in the broadcast.
Well, that will do it for the case of Jane Doe. We hope you enjoyed this series. If you like our content, don't forget to give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and we'll hope to see you again in the gamery.